Life is a tapestry woven with unexpected twists and turns, where the future remains a mystery waiting to unfold. As I sat in the small hotel room that evening, just me and Gary, I found myself lost in thought. The absence of my husband Logan, who has been in another city for the past few months, has woven a tapestry of tension in my life. I felt his absence, yes, but it was more than just the fact that he wasn't there. It was his indifference, his disinterest, that truly lay at the heart of the issue. In the stillness of the night, shadows danced around me, whispering tales of solitude that gnawed at my very essence. Who could have predicted that my request for my stepson Gary to take me to visit Dad would lead to us being confined in a cramped hotel room sharing a single bed? Little did I know what was on the horizon. Allow me to share the entire journey with you, from the very start, every single detail included. Believe me, the conclusion of this tale will surprise you in ways you never imagined. That morning, as I stepped out of the house, I caught a fleeting reflection of myself in the mirror. I felt the pressure, sure, but I still managed to shine. Even in the solitude left by Logan's departure, a spark of desire lingered within me, reminding me that I was still very much alive. Yet even those emotions fell short, leaving me unfulfilled. In the kitchen, as the aroma of breakfast lingered in the air, Gary was savoring the last bites when I called out to him from behind. As you prepare for the exciting journey of college life at the end of summer, it's important to hone your driving skills along the way. Let's go meet your father. He gazed up at me, that familiar mischievous smile lighting up his face as it always did. Gary was a charming young lad with a delightful sense of humor, yet he had a knack for stirring up mischief now and then. "All right, stepmom," he said with a playful grin, "but there's one thing I need. Convince Dad to get me a nicer car for the summer." "We'll discuss it later," I said with urgency, pushing him away. Deep down, I found myself wishing for the journey to come to an end. Little did I know, the journey ahead would take an unexpected turn. After 2 hours on the road, the journey had already begun to weave its own tale. As I sat in the back seat, my fingers danced over my phone, lost in a world of screens, while Gary filled the air with his off-key humming to a tune on the radio. Every so often, he'd toss out a silly joke, chuckling to himself, the laughter echoing in the car, a private joke only he seemed to understand. Out of nowhere, the car emitted a dreadful noise, a sharp hiss, and then it came to a complete stop. "What's going on?" I inquired, making an effort to keep my composure. "I think the car broke down," Gary muttered, pulling over to the side of the road, his annoyance palpable. In that moment, we found ourselves stranded in an isolated expanse. The reception on my phone was almost non-existent, and I found myself utterly alone, with no one to lend a hand. For 2 long hours, we found ourselves in a heated debate, reaching out to every mechanic we could think of, desperately trying to resolve the issue with that stubborn machine. In the end, we came to terms with the reality of our situation. Our only choice was to find shelter for the night at the nearest motel. At the motel reception, as Gary engaged in conversation with the man at the desk, I lingered behind him, a storm of frustration brewing within me. As I pondered the situation, I couldn't help but imagine Logan's reaction. It would surely be explosive. Yet, in that instant, it seemed as though it held little significance. In the depths of my being, I felt an undeniable certainty that this evening held the power to transform everything. Before we dive deeper into this tale, be sure to subscribe to my channel and activate those notifications. Believe me, the journey ahead is one you won't want to overlook. As we reach the conclusion, I hope to witness your encouragement, filled with reactions and those thumbs up. As we stepped into the room and swung the door wide, all my hopes shattered into a million pieces. The space was cramped, just enough to pivot without bumping into anything. In a small room, there was a bed and a nightstand, illuminated by a dim, flickering overhead light that cast a shadowy gloom over everything. The ceiling loomed close, the AC struggled to keep up, and the solitary window offered a view of the parking lot. "This is it," I whispered, feeling a wave of disappointment wash over me. As I entered, I could hear Gary's laughter following closely behind me. "What were you hoping for? A luxurious getaway? Take it easy, stepmom. It's merely one evening." That playful inflection once more, that familiar grin. It drove me crazy, yet it ignited a feeling within me that I couldn't quite put into words. As much as I loathed to confess it, the thought of spending the evening here with Gary didn't appear so dreadful after all. As I entered, I could hear Gary's laughter echoing behind me. "Did you really think it would be a luxurious getaway? Our stay is just for a single evening. Take it easy, stepmom." His teasing tone, combined with that cheeky grin, only deepened my frustration. Yet, I must admit, there was something about Gary's carefree, laid back attitude that I couldn't completely despise. Being around him, even though I'd never confess it, ignited a spark within me, a thrill I couldn't quite grasp. The sweltering heat was unbearable, I remarked as I massaged the back of my neck. I feel like I could really use a refreshing shower, or I might just faint from the heat. Absolutely, absolutely, Gary remarked nonchalantly, flopping onto the bed and stretching out on his back. Welcome to your realm, Carmen. Make yourself comfortable in any way that brings you a sense of belonging. For just a fleeting moment, my eyes met his. His lean yet toned physique, combined with the subtle boyishness of his features, bestowed upon him an intriguing allure. Yet I swiftly attempted to cast the notion aside. He was, after all, the son of Logan, my stepson. As I entered the bathroom, I closed the door softly, creating a moment of solitude. For a moment, I found myself captivated by the image staring back at me in the mirror. Despite the heat making my hair cling to my skin, I still managed to look good. The flame within me remained alive. As I turned on the shower, I welcomed the cascading water, stepping beneath its embrace, yearning for it to cleanse the turmoil of feelings swirling within me. At 47, I reflected on the passage of time, realizing that Gary has grown up too. At 22, he's on the brink of a new adventure as he prepares to embark on his college journey. And here we find ourselves, sharing this small hotel room for a few days. The idea stirred a mix of unease and thrill within me, a feeling I struggled to articulate. Logan came to mind, weaving through my thoughts like a character in a tale waiting to be told. Logan, I had a little surprise in mind for you. I long to be in your presence, to share moments together. Here I am in this hotel room with your son, and a whirlwind of emotions swirls within me, leaving me uncertain about how to navigate this moment. The steam enveloped the small bathroom, creating a warm cocoon that eased my body, while my thoughts danced wildly in the background. Gary's grin and his easygoing nature ignited an unexpected feeling within me. Standing under the stream of water, I felt a shift in the air, a sense that something was unfolding, though I couldn't quite grasp what it might become. Eventually, I made my way downstairs for dinner, hoping to refresh my thoughts a little. I slipped into a breezy, delicate dress. It was ideal for the warmth, yet it also brought a sense of comfort and tranquility. I found myself grappling with an unusual tension that I couldn't quite release. The hotel restaurant had a charm all its own, a snug little spot that perfectly matched the intimate size of the establishment. As I settled in, I chose a light meal accompanied by a glass of wine, envisioning it as the perfect way to unwind and let the day's worries drift away. As dusk fell, the streetlights outside the hotel began to illuminate the surroundings with a gentle glow. As I sat there, my thoughts drifted inevitably to the room above, where countless tales lingered in the air. I found myself curious about what Gary might be doing at this very moment. Someone as restless and full of energy as him likely found it quite challenging to enjoy himself in such a confined space. Yet there was something about his laid-back demeanor, so natural and untroubled, that stirred a restlessness within me that I couldn't fully articulate. As the last sip of wine slipped away, I cast one last look at my plate before ascending the stairs, each step deliberate and unhurried. As I entered the room, an eerie silence enveloped me. As I swung the door wide, what lay before me took my breath away, leaving me momentarily speechless. Gary had just stepped out of the shower and was sprawled on the bed, wrapped in a robe, utterly fast asleep. His half-open robe unveiled the contours of his lean, fit physique. His damp hair tumbled over his forehead, and a subtle smile played on his lips, as if he were lost in a dream. My heart began to race. I never anticipated finding myself in such a situation. In that fleeting moment, I stood still by the door, caught in a web of uncertainty about my next move. Within me, a peculiar blend of feelings swirled around. Despite my embarrassment, I found myself unable to look away from him. Carmen, what on earth are you up to? That's the child of Logan. I reprimanded myself in silence, yet my gaze wandered, captivated by the section of his robe that had fallen further ajar. What I witnessed ignited a comforting feeling within me. The cramped quarters only intensified the situation. There was no other option. It was either share the bed with him or endure the night in a chair. In this sweltering heat, the mere idea of a chair felt like a distant dream. As I entered the room, I moved slowly, the steady rhythmic sound of Gary's breathing enveloping the atmosphere. As I inhaled deeply, I sought clarity, yet the whirlwind within me clouded my thoughts, leaving me adrift in confusion. I needed to gather my thoughts and find my strength. All right, Carmen, I whispered under my breath. It's merely a single evening, nothing beyond that. This holds no significance. In my quest to bring joy to Logan, I find myself in an unexpected predicament. Stay composed and think clearly. I approached the bed, my gaze fixed on Gary. The pure look on his face tangled my already complicated thoughts even further. As I perched on the edge of the bed, a swirl of thoughts danced in my mind, pondering how I would navigate the hours ahead. In the stillness of the night, a gentle noise stirred me from my slumber. As I slowly cracked my eyelids, I took a moment to survey the surroundings. As I observed Gary, he began to move restlessly on the bed. He appeared to be in a daze, his fingers weaving through his hair as he gently scratched his scalp. I caught myself observing him, my eyelids only slightly ajar, feigning a lingering drowsiness within, even though my mind was anything but at ease. In that moment, I sensed his gaze upon me. My heart began to pound with excitement. He had his eyes on me. I endeavored to uphold the facade, preserving the drowsy expression on my face and remaining motionless. But inside, I was alive with excitement. Released the fastening of his garment. As it fell away, the robe glided off his shoulders, unveiling more of his sculpted physique. The way his muscles shifted subtly with his movements ignited an unexpected warmth within me. I found myself unable to hold back. At that instant, I came to understand a couple of profound truths. There was a sense of surrender to the unfolding events, and a part of me found a strange comfort in letting it all play out. As Gary rummaged through the wardrobe, he discovered a pair of shorts waiting to be worn once more. As he went about his task, he frequently cast sidelong looks in my direction, as if pondering whether I was still in the realm of consciousness. His appearance filled me with even greater anticipation. I was putting in a great effort to keep my secrets hidden, yet I found myself completely swept away by the moment. Once he slipped into his shorts, the bed remained empty, as if a new adventure awaited him beyond the sheets. Instead, he settled into the chair in the corner of the room and began to observe me intently. The intensity of the gaze upon me was both disconcerting and ignited a feeling within that was hard to put into words. I lay there with my eyes closed, feigning slumber. But how much longer could I maintain this charade? At last, the weight of it all became too much, and I found myself sitting up. As our gazes locked, I steadied my voice, ensuring it remained firm as I confessed, with all my emotions laid bare. You're igniting a thrill within me. Once upon a time, there was a character named Gary. The weight of those words lingered in the atmosphere. In that instant, I realized everything was about to change forever. With a brief glimmer in his eyes, Gary inhaled deeply and began to share his tale. I'm not sure, Carmen, he replied, his voice calm yet firm. For some time now, we've been sharing the same space ever since my dad left. As we share moments and experiences, my feelings for you deepen. There are moments when my appreciation for you shines through, even if you don't see it. At this moment, it seems as if I'm wandering through a surreal tale. His words took me by surprise, yet they ignited a spark within me. Gary's gaze was unwavering, locking onto mine with a sincerity and fervor that left me utterly entranced. He mentioned needing to rise early to have the car repaired, though his tone suggested he was attempting to reassure himself. Yet his eyes remained steadfast, unwavering in their focus. In this moment, my gaze is completely captivated by you, Carmen. I've never experienced this feeling before. My heart pounded with excitement. At that moment, I shifted to the edge of the bed and settled into the chair directly across from him. Our gazes intertwined, a silent narrative unfolding between us. The connection we shared was so powerful that it transcended the need for spoken language. We lingered in quietude for a heartbeat, and then I pursed my lips gently, locking my gaze onto him. Gary, I said with a measured tone, my voice laced with intrigue and a hint of provocation. Are we on the same page here? Gary's gaze intensified, as if he wished to experience this moment through emotions rather than expressions. He remained silent, yet the expression in his eyes conveyed everything. And in that moment, I understood we had crossed a point of no return. As I gazed into his eyes, a wave of bravery and irresistible longing surged within me. The blend of uncertainty and fervor in his gaze only drove me onward. With a steady breath, I began to share my thoughts once more, my tone composed yet resolute, capturing his complete focus. As I entered the room, I found you lost in slumber. Your robe hung slightly ajar, and I found myself captivated by your presence. It resonated with me more than I anticipated. We can't escape these emotions. Deep down, we both understand that. With my words lingering in the atmosphere, I took a step forward and gradually rose to my feet. His gaze tracked my every action, his breath becoming more rapid. Excitement bubbled within me, eager to spill over. As my fingers grazed the sash of my dress, I felt the tension in the air shift. With each deliberate tug, I could sense the change in his breathing, a silent narrative unfolding with every movement I made. I believe I mentioned, my voice lowering to a hush, "We must find a balance, Gary." With a gentle tug, I began to reveal the hidden secrets of my dress. The fabric gracefully slipped from my shoulders, cascading down to the floor below. The refreshing breeze caressed my skin, intensifying the fire that raged within me. The expression in his eyes conveyed everything: astonishment, respect, and an irresistible attraction. The stillness enveloped us, creating a connection as our breaths intertwined, holding each other's gaze without faltering. I moved closer to him, one step at a time. In a hushed tone, I remarked, "Let's find out if we're truly on the same page." Gary's gaze remained fixed on me, his demeanor unwavering and brimming with intensity. In an instant, he rose to his feet, his eyes locked onto mine and flicked on the light in the room. The gentle light enveloped the space as he approached and secured the door behind him. My heart began to race with anticipation. In that instant, time seemed to come to a standstill, creating a space just for the two of us. As he moved closer, I could feel my heart race with each breath. He appeared to be searching my gaze, yet he was also acutely conscious of the unspoken connection that lingered in the air between us. As he approached, his hands gently settled on my waist, and the warmth of his touch surged through me like a powerful current, igniting a spark of connection between us. In silence, he drew closer, his gaze fixated on my lips. I remained silent, unable to voice my dissent. Everything about this unfolded effortlessly, as if it was destined to occur. As our lips finally connected, every ounce of tension within me dissipated into the air. His kiss unfolded gently, a journey of discovery, yet it brimmed with an unmistakable fervor. My hands naturally found their way to his shoulders, embracing the strength and warmth that enveloped me. As our breaths intertwined, the distance that once separated us vanished entirely. That moment was a vivid tapestry woven from all the silent feelings shared between us. The vibrant spirit of Gary intertwined with the profound emotions I had nurtured throughout the years. It marked the dawn of an adventure, a moment filled with both fear and excitement. That night, the truth of our feelings for one another was laid bare. I sank onto the bed, my body weary, yet my thoughts whirled like a tempest. My breath came in fits and starts. The soft fabric of my dress lay on the floor, and my foot gently grazed it, stirring memories of moments past. Gary's gaze was upon me, a silent yet powerful energy emanating from his eyes. A moment later, he bent down and picked up the dress, his fingers gently gliding over the spot where my foot had rested. Even that simple action ignited a tale within me. As he grasped the dress for a moment, I noticed a brief glimmer of uncertainty cross his features. With a surge of resolve, he cast the dress aside. His hands glided to the edge of the bed, as if preparing to unveil a tale waiting to be told. With great care, he ascended onto the mattress, each movement measured and intentional. As he approached, the look on his face revealed a mix of thrill and undeniable allure. As I rested on the opposite side of the bed, I sensed Gary's presence nearby. My heart raced, and I took deeper breaths. As he leaned closer, it struck me how the space that once separated us had nearly vanished. It felt like the moment had arrived when all things converged, leaving no path to retreat. In that instant, a surge of emotions flooded my being. It was a mix of pain and exhilaration. As I gazed upward, Gary's face came into view against the ceiling. There was something captivating about the way he brushed his hair back from his forehead with a gentle hand. In his eyes, I could glimpse the whirlwind of emotions swirling within Gary. A vibrant red hue painted his cheeks. A spark of excitement danced in his gaze, and an unmistakable joy radiated from him. It was evident that he poured his heart into every action, and I felt a deep connection as I witnessed his labored breaths. Gary had stirred my feelings so intensely that I found myself relieved when the car finally broke down. "I'll always remember this hotel," Gary murmured, his voice quivering, each word escaping him like a weighty exhalation. His gaze was fixed on me, yet there was a subtle tremor in his hands. His body was taut, muscles coiling with each careful movement, as if he were cradling a cherished memory within him. He expressed his strong feelings about not wanting his father to sell the car any longer. After these words, he allowed himself to drop beside me, shut his eyes in silence, and waited for his breath to steady. Fatigue enveloped me, leaving me without the energy to utter a single word. My legs were in a restless dance, and I was completely unaware of how I had drifted off into slumber. The following morning, Gary arrived with the car all fixed up and shared that we needed to go pick up Logan before heading to the city. As we journeyed along, a swirl of regret and mixed emotions washed over me. Yet beneath it all, a spark of excitement flickered within. As I gazed into Gary's eyes, his every action and the essence of who he was stirred something deep within me. Amidst the complexity, uncertainty lingered, leaving me in suspense about the unfolding events. The thoughts swirled within me, battling with the thrill that coursed through my veins. There was a singular truth I held close. This adventure would mark the turning point of everything. If you've journeyed this far, I can sense the thrill my tale has sparked within you. Be sure to stay connected. Hit that follow button, turn on notifications, and share your thoughts about this tale in the comments. I'm eager to hear what you have to share.